Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Top Coin. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting and unlocking the secrets behind a small yet potentially very valuable piece of American history, the 1974 quarter-dollar coin from the United States of America. Now, you might think a quarter is just 25 cents, but what if I told you that the quarter in your pocket, specifically from the year 1974, might be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on a few rare factors? Stick around as we explore the rich backstory, uncover hidden varieties, and reveal the current market value of the 1974 quarter. You'll be shocked by what collectors are paying for the rarest versions of this coin today. Let's start at the beginning. The year was 1974. The United States was in the midst of major historical shifts. The Vietnam War was drawing to a close, Richard Nixon was still president but under growing scrutiny, and inflation was starting to grip the nation. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued producing the Washington quarter, a coin first introduced back in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, the obverse or heads. Side of the quarter features a profile of Washington facing left, with the words Liberty above, and God We Trust to the left, and the date 1974 at the bottom. The reverse side shows an eagle with outstretched wings clutching a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend, with two olive branches below symbolizing peace. Above the eagle, you'll find the words United States of America, and just below that, E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one. Now, let's talk numbers. In 1974, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of quarters across three major minting facilities: Philadelphia Mint, No Mint Mark, over 353 million coins; Denver Mint, Mint Mark D, over 353 million coins; San Francisco Mint, Mint Mark S, special proof coins only. As you can see, the total mintage was enormous. But remember, quantity doesn't always mean value. What makes a coin truly valuable is rarity, condition, and sometimes even minting mistakes. So, what sets some 1974 quarters apart from the rest? Let's dig into the key factors that can drive the value way up. A circulated 1974 quarter might still only be worth 25 cents, or maybe slightly more to a casual collector. But if you have an uncirculated coin, one that's never been used and is in pristine condition, the value can start climbing. Coins graded MS65 or higher by services like PCGS or NGC can fetch $10 to $50 or more. A perfect MS67 example? That can command hundreds of dollars at auction. Here's where things get juicy. Some of the most valuable 1974 quarters are not perfect. They have minting errors. These errors occurred during the production process and are often extremely rare. Here are a few to look out for. Off-center strike. When the coin isn't properly aligned and part of the design is missing. Double die obverse or reverse. This happens when the die strikes the coin twice slightly offset, leading to a doubled image. If you notice the letters or numbers looking fuzzy or doubled, you may have a rare variety. Clip planchet. A small chunk of the coin might be missing due to a misfeed during blanking. Some 1974 error quarters have sold for $300, $500, even over $1,000 depending on the severity and rarity of the mistake. Coins from the San Francisco Mint were not released into circulation. They were specially made for collectors. If you have one of these, especially in pristine cameo or deep cameo condition, they can be worth a lot more than face value. Prices range from $5 to $30 or higher, depending on the grade and appearance. Now for the big question. What is your 1974 quarter worth today in the coin collector's market? Circulated 1974 quarters. Typically worth face value to $1, unless they have a rare error. Uncirculated mint state, MS60, MS65 value ranges from $5 to $50. High-grade mint state, MS66. MS67, these can fetch anywhere between $100 and $400 or more at auction. Major error coins. If you discover a double die, off-center, or other verified error coin, values can soar from a few hundred to over $1,000. Proof coins, 1974. These are worth about $5 to $20 on average. But deep cameo versions in perfect condition can hit $50 or more. Remember, values fluctuate based on market demand, rarity, and the number of collectors searching for that specific variety. Grading your coin professionally can dramatically increase its value by giving it authenticity in the eyes of serious buyers. So you might be wondering, how can you tell if your 1974 quarter is special? Here's a simple checklist to follow. Check the mint mark. Look under the date. D means Denver, S means San Francisco proof, and no letter means Philadelphia. Inspect for errors. Use a magnifying glass and a good light source. Look for doubling, misalignment, or anything unusual. Check the condition. The fewer scratches and dings, the better. If it's shiny, it might be uncirculated. Get it graded. If you suspect you've got a rare or high-grade coin, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional certification. Absolutely. The 1974 quarter is an affordable and fascinating entry point for new collectors and a treasure hunt opportunity for seasoned hobbyists. While most are still only worth face value, there are enough high-grade and error coins floating around to make checking your change totally worth it, whether you're in it for the history, the hobby, or the chance of striking it rich. The 1974 quarter is a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins can hold extraordinary value. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin videos, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss our next upload. Have a 1974 quarter you want us to look at? Drop a comment below and tell us about it. Who knows, you might be sitting on a hidden gem. In this video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1977 quarter. We'll uncover its surprising history, break down its hidden value, talk about why collectors are hunting for it, and reveal how to tell if the quarter you're holding is just pocket change or a potential goldmine. So stick with me until the very end. You don't want to miss what makes this coin so desirable and how much it's really going for in today's market. The 1977 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, a coin that has been a staple in American currency since 1932. These coins were originally introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. On the obverse, that's the front of the coin, you'll see the classic left-facing profile of George Washington. The design was created by John Flanagan, an accomplished sculptor whose initials can still be seen near Washington's neck. Surrounding his portrait are the inscriptions, Liberty, the iconic motto I in God We Trust, and the date, 1977. Flip it over, and on the reverse, we see a majestic bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing strength and peace. Above it are the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one. And right at the bottom, the denomination, $quarter. Nothing unusual, right? At first glance, this quarter looks like every other from the 1970s. But here's where it gets exciting. In 1977, over 468 million quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver combined. That might sound like a lot, and it is, but not all of them were created equally. The bulk of these coins were made for general circulation, which means they were tossed into vending machines, exchanged for groceries, and sat in dusty drawers for decades. Most 1977 quarters have been through years of wear and tear, losing their sharp detail and luster. These common, circulated coins are still worth only 25 cents today. And this is a big but, coins in pristine condition or with certain rare mint errors can command massive premiums on the collector's market. Let's break it down. There are three main things that can make a 1977 quarter valuable. Coins that have been preserved in mint or near mint condition, what collectors call uncirculated or mint state, are far rarer than you'd think. A 1977 quarter graded MS-65 or higher by PCGS or NGC could sell for $30 to $150, sometimes more, depending on the market. One exceptional specimen even sold for over $1,000. This is where the real money is. Rare minting mistakes can skyrocket the value of a 1977 quarter. We're talking about errors like double die obverse, where parts of the design are duplicated off-center strikes, where the coin is stamped off-balance clipped planchets, coins that are missing a chunk of metal struck on the wrong planchet. Like being struck on a dime or foreign coin. Blank collectors will pay hundreds to even thousands of dollars for coins with dramatic, rare errors. One off-center 1977 quarter recently sold for $800. That's over 3,000 times its face value. Proof versions of the 1977 quarter were struck in San Francisco and mint for collectors. These coins have a mirror-like background and incredibly sharp detail. While most proof quarters are worth just a few dollars, Perfect examples or cameo versions can fetch $20 to $75. And even more if they're in flawless condition. Let's talk real numbers. A 1977 quarter graded MS-67 by PCGS, one of the highest grades possible, sold for $1,527 at auction. And it wasn't even an error coin, just a regular 1977 quarter in perfect condition. Another 1977 D quarter with a dramatic off-center strike brought in over $900 on eBay. And an astonishing double die example was once listed for $2,000, sparking a bidding war among collectors. This goes to show, it's not just about age. It's about rarity, condition, and collector demand. So how do you know if your quarter is special? Check the mint mark. A small D means it was minted in Denver. No mark means it came from Philadelphia. An S would be from San Francisco and is likely a proof coin. Look for signs of error. Doubling, odd shapes, missing letters, or unusual edges can all be signs of a valuable mistake. Inspect the condition. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting. The sharper the details and the more luster, the higher the grade. Weigh the coin. A standard quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. A different weight could mean it was struck on the wrong planchet. And that's gold for collectors. If you think you've got a high-grade or error 1977 quarter, it might be worth sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate the coin, assign it a grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof case, increasing its value and appeal to buyers. But beware, grading can cost anywhere from $30 to $100, so it only makes sense if your coin has real potential. Section 7. Where to sell and what the market looks like now. The demand for rare quarters has exploded in recent years. Thanks to online marketplaces like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections, it's easier than ever to find collectors willing to pay top dollar. If you've got a coin worth grading or one with a clear mint error, list it with high-resolution photos, full descriptions, and certification if possible. A single error coin could change your next paycheck. Right now in 2025, the coin market is still hot. More people than ever are entering the hobby. Nostalgia, inflation, and investment interest are driving prices up. So this might be the perfect time to dig through that old change jar and see what you've got. So next time you're at the checkout line or dumping your change into a coin jar, take a second look at that 1977 quarter. You might just be holding a hidden gem, a piece of American history, or even a small fortune. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're inspired to go check your collection right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more coin hunting tips, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to discover hidden treasures right in your pocket. Today, we're diving deep into the world of coins, history, and hidden treasures. What if I told you that a simple coin you may have in your pocket, one that's been around since 1979, could actually be worth thousands of dollars today? That's right, we're talking about the 1979 United States quarter dollar. It's more than just spare change. It's a piece of American history. It's a collector's dream. And in some cases, it's a jackpot hiding in plain sight. So grab your magnifying glass, check your change jars, and get ready for a journey into the fascinating story of the 1979 quarter dollar coin. Let's start with the basics. The 1979 United States quarter dollar coin. It's a Washington quarter made of copper nickel clad, and it features the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse, or front, of the coin. This design was originally introduced back in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. It was supposed to be a one-year commemorative coin, but it was so well received that it became a permanent fixture of U.S. currency. Fast forward to 1979, a year of technological advancement, cultural change, and economic shifts in the United States. Gas was cheap, disco was still alive, and the U.S. Mint was churning out coins in full force. In fact, over 800 million quarters were minted that year at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now here's where things start to get interesting. Not all 1979 quarters are created equal. Most of them are worth their face value, 25 cents. But a select few can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Why? It all comes down to mint marks, condition, errors, and rarity. Let's break it down. First up, the Philadelphia Mint. These coins have no mint mark. Over 515 million of them were produced. They're fairly common, but if you find one in uncirculated condition, Especially with a high grade like MS 65 or above, collectors may pay anywhere from $5 to $30. Doesn't sound like much, right? But that's just the beginning. Next, we have the Denver Mint, marked by a small d. Over 489 million quarters were minted here. Again, circulated coins are worth face value. But high-grade specimens, brilliant uncirculated or professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, can sell for up to $100, depending on the quality and eye appeal. And now, we enter the realm of proof coins, the crown jewels for many collectors. The San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, produced proof coins for collectors. These were not intended for general circulation. They were specially made using polished dies and planchets, giving them a mirror-like finish. Two types of proof quarters were made in 1979, the Type 1 and Type 2 varieties. And this is where the real money starts to show up. The Type 1 proof has a filled or blob-like S mint mark. It's the more common of the two. But the Type 2 proof, with a clear and sharp S, is much scarcer. Collectors hunt for these, and when you find one in pristine condition, it could be worth $500 or even more. In top-tier grades like PR 70 Deep Cameo, sales have gone as high as $2,000 or more. That's right, one little quarter, worth $2,000. Still not impressed? Let's talk about errors, because that's where things get wild. 1979 quarters with minting mistakes, like off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or misaligned dies, are incredibly valuable to collectors. Depending on the type and severity of the error, these quarters can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die obverse, where the lettering or date appears doubled due to a die misalignment. If you come across a 1979 quarter with clear doubling, don't spend it. It might be worth a small fortune. So what's the market like today? Well, demand for collectible coins is on the rise. As more people enter the hobby of numismatics, prices for rare and high-quality coins are steadily increasing. Auction records have shown surprising results for 1,979 quarters, especially in proof condition and with errors. And online marketplaces like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are seeing constant bidding wars for these elusive varieties. So what should you do? Start by checking your pocket change. Look at your old coin jars. Examine every 1979 quarter closely. Check the mint mark. Check the condition. Look for unusual features. And if you find something that seems special, don't hesitate. Get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That 25-cent piece might just change your life. The 1979 quarter dollar, it's more than just a coin. It's a snapshot of American history. It's a hidden gem in your collection. And for the lucky few, it's a ticket to real money. Keep looking, keep collecting, and who knows, the next coin you find could be the one that's worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the 1987 United States quarter dollar coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another ordinary quarter you'd find in your pocket. But what if I told you that this seemingly common coin could actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? That's right. This 1987 quarter could be a hidden gem in your change jar. So make sure you stay tuned until the end as we uncover the secrets, the story, and the surprising market value of the 1987 Washington quarter. Now, before we talk about values and prices, let's take a moment to appreciate the history behind this coin. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, has become one of the most iconic and enduring designs in American coinage. The obverse, or front, features the profile of the first president of the United States, George Washington, based on a sculpture by Jean-Antoine Houdon. This design was created by John Flanagan, whose initials you can spot just below Washington's neck. The 1987 quarter is part of this long-running series, and while millions were struck that year, there are some specific factors that make certain 1987 quarters far more valuable than their face value. Now let's take a closer look at the minting details. In 1987, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at two main facilities, Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark at the time, and Denver, which used the D mint mark. There were also collector versions minted in San Francisco, which carry the S mint mark and were included in proof sets. Here's a quick breakdown of mintages. Philadelphia Mint. Over 582 million quarters Denver Mint. Over 655 million quarters San Francisco Mint. Proof only around 4 million coins, so yes, in total, over a billion quarters were produced that year. But that doesn't mean yours is worthless. In fact, here's where things start to get interesting. Now let's talk about rarity and value. What makes a 1987 quarter worth more than 25 cents? It comes down to three critical factors: condition, errors, and minting quality. Let's start with condition. Collectors value coins that are in mint or near mint state. A coin graded MS65 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can be worth significantly more than face value. Some MS67 examples of the 1987 D quarter have sold for over $300, and even higher grade proof coins can fetch upwards of $500 or more, especially when they feature deep cameo contrast and pristine surfaces. Now here's where it gets even more exciting: error coins. These are the jackpot of the coin world. Errors can include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal. In fact, a known error involving a 1987 quarter struck on a nickel planchet has sold for over $1,000 at auction. Imagine finding one of those in your old coin jar. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die quarter. This happens when the coin is struck twice with a slightly misaligned die, creating a shadow-like duplication of the lettering or images. These are extremely rare for 1987 quarters, but when they do appear, collectors are willing to pay top dollar. Another thing to look for is toning. This is a natural discoloration that occurs over time due to exposure to air and moisture. While this might seem like damage, in some cases, colorful or aesthetically pleasing toning can actually increase a coin's value, especially among collectors who seek unique visual appeal. Let's also talk briefly about the proof coins minted in San Francisco. These coins were never intended for circulation and were made specifically for collectors. With their mirror-like finishes and intricate detail, a flawless proof 1987 S quarter in PR70 deep cameo condition can sell for hundreds of dollars, especially when certified by a reputable grading service. What's the current market value for the 1987 quarter? Here's a general idea as of today. Circulated 1987 P or D quarters, typically still worth 25 cents unless they have an error uncirculated MS65 or better, around $10 to $100, depending on grade and demand. Proof 1987 S quarter in PR70, $50 to $200 or more. Rare error coins, $100 to $1,000 plus, depending on the type and condition. Remember, prices can fluctuate depending on the market, collector interest, and the condition of the coin itself. So always get your coin authenticated and graded if you think you have something special. So now the big question is, should you go digging through your change for a 1987 quarter? Absolutely. It costs you nothing, and who knows? That one coin you've had sitting in a jar for years might just be a treasure in disguise. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, keeping an eye out for valuable coins like the 1987 Washington quarter can be both fun and rewarding. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1987 quarter, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on future coin reviews, price guides, and rare coin discoveries. Drop a comment below and tell us if you found any interesting or rare quarters in your collection. And if you want us to cover another specific year or coin, let us know. Your suggestion might be our next video. Today's deep dive is into a tiny piece of American history that just might be hiding in your pocket or sitting forgotten in a drawer. We're talking about the 1993 United States quarter dollar coin. Yes, the humble quarter from 1993, a coin that millions of people have touched, used, and overlooked for decades. But did you know that some of these quarters are now worth more than just 25 cents? In fact, certain rare and unique versions of this coin are fetching big money from collectors around the world. So make sure you watch until the end, because we're not just talking about pocket change here. We're talking about serious cash. Let's start with the basics. The 1993 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, one of the most iconic and longest-running coin series in American history. Designed by the legendary sculptor John Flanagan, the Washington Quarter first debuted in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Fast forward to 1993. This classic design was still going strong, featuring a left-facing portrait of George Washington on the obverse, or front, side of the coin. On the reverse side, you'll see the majestic image of an eagle, wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath, a symbol of strength and peace. This design remained unchanged from 1932 until 1998, just before the state quarters program began. Now here's where things start to get interesting. In 1993, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You can tell where a quarter was minted by looking at the small mint mark on the right side of the coin, just behind Washington's ponytail. A P means it was minted in Philadelphia. A D stands for Denver. And an S, that means it was struck in San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 639 million quarters in 1993, while the Denver Mint pumped out more than 662 million. So yes, the regular circulation versions of these coins are not exactly rare. You can still find them in your change today. But hold on, don't walk away just yet. Because when we start talking about condition, errors, proof coins, and collector demand, the story takes a sharp turn. Transition with dramatic music to rare and valuable editions. Let's talk about what makes certain 1993 quarters worth way more than a quarter. One word: condition. A regular 1993 quarter that's been through decades of wear and tear is probably worth face value. Maybe a little more if it's in decent shape. But a pristine, uncirculated coin, especially one that's been graded by a professional service, can be worth several dollars or even more. The highest grades go to what's known as mint state coins, graded on a scale from MS-60 all the way up to MS-70. An MS-67 or MS-68 quarter from 1993 is extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. These coins look like they just left the mint. No scratches, no wear, just perfect luster and detail. And then there are the proof coins, made specifically for collectors by the San Francisco Mint. These have a beautiful mirror-like finish and incredible detail. They weren't meant for circulation, so finding one of these in circulation would be incredibly lucky. A proof 1993 S quarter, especially one in perfect PR69 or PR70 condition, can easily sell for $10 to $30 or more, depending on the market. But here's the real treasure hunt: error coins. Yes, minting errors. Those weird, wonderful mistakes that happen when the machinery goes wrong. These include things like double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and missing design elements. If you come across a 1993 quarter with a noticeable error, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, some collectors specialize only in error coins because they are so unique and often one-of-a-kind. One of the most famous errors from the early 90s involves the double die obverse, where the text or images appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. While no widely known examples from 1993 have made national headlines yet, new errors are still being discovered. That's why it pays, literally, to keep your eyes open and inspect your coins carefully. What's the current market value of the 1993 quarter? As of now, most circulated coins are worth about 25 cents to maybe $1 if they're in better than average shape. But when you start looking at high-grade, uncirculated coins or proof versions, that's where the value jumps. An MS-66 or MS-67 quarter from 1993 can bring in anywhere from $10 to $50. And those elusive MS-68 examples can command hundreds of dollars, especially if they're slabbed and graded by PCGS or NGC. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint in top grade can range from $20 to $60 or more, depending on the demand. And of course, if you happen to find an error coin, the sky's the limit. Just this year, a rare 1993 quarter with an off-center strike sold at auction for over $300, and another with a dramatic die break brought in nearly $500. That's a long way from pocket change. So the next time you get change from a vending machine, or you're digging through an old piggy bank, don't ignore the quarters, especially those from 1993. Look closely. Inspect carefully. You might just be holding on to a hidden gem, a rare mint error, or a collector's dream worth far more than 25 cents. Coins are more than just money. They're time capsules. They tell stories of American history, craftsmanship, mistakes, and even mystery. The 1993 United States quarter dollar may seem ordinary, But in the world of numismatics, it has the potential to be something extraordinary. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare and valuable coins, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn change into treasure. Have you found any rare coins lately? Tell us in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting.